Good evening. We have a member of the Minister Alliance with us this evening. Would you please come forward? Hello.
Pray with me. God, we thank you for this assembly of people here tonight, and I pray that as they discuss and as their conversations move forward, that they are fruitful and that they have the city of Oak Grove in their best interests, and that you will bless the conversations that happen here tonight, and that your will be done ultimately. We just thank you for all of your blessings on us. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call the March 4th, 2024 Board of Aldermen meeting to order. Deputy City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rachel Kilmer. Here. Tracy Newcomer. Here. Jim Shrout.
Here.
Kelly Neto.
Here.
Jeremy Taylor.
Here.
Pam Pope.
Here.
And Mayor Dan Webb.
Here, thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business deletions or continuances. We do not have any of those this evening, so we will move on to public comments. Do we have any public comments this evening?
No.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. These items are designated on the consent agenda so that members of the Board of Aldermen, by unanimous consent, can designate routine items to be approved by one motion. Tonight, we have approval of the February 20th, 2024 Board of Aldermen meeting minutes and expenditures through February 29th, 2024.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We do not have any of that this evening, so we will move on to new business. The first item would be discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a mayoral reappointment of T.J. Connors to the Park Board. So that one's mine. That's my item. T.J. has expressed an interest. It's time for his term to be up, and I've spoke with him, and he would really like to continue to be on the Park Board. So tonight, I'm asking for approval for him to serve another term.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve T.J. Connors to the Park Board. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding application for the rezoning request by MBL Development Company, Kim Lingle, owner, to rezone approximately 8.25 acres located south on 300 Southeast 27th Street, as more specifically described in legal description from A agriculture to R3 multifamily district. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The applicant is requesting the rezoning of this property. The property is currently zoned ag and is vacant. The applicant intends to build multifamily residential senior housing, which would be 38 units, including a community building. The property currently abuts R3 development to the north, which is Red Maple Villas Phase 1, and ag to the west, east, and south. The developer has secured state and federal tax credits for location to build senior housing. Staff has reviewed the application along with all supporting documents and finds that the rezoning request is justified. There's adequate infrastructure available to serve the proposed zoning classification. The development and overall land use is consistent with the city's adopted code, also aligns with the future land use of the comprehensive plan. Staff would therefore recommend approval of the amendment to the official zoning map as requested by the applicant. Planning and Zoning held a public hearing on February 21st of this year, and they recommended approval of the rezoning request from Ag to R3. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have. Tonight, Ryan Lingle, Michelle Jennings, and Brian Gabe are here with the NBL development team. Happy to answer questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Does the board have any questions for city staff at this time?
I assume the first phase had to be rezoned as well, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole parcel was annexed in And that particular parcel where Red Maple Villas Phase 1 was located was also rezoned from Ag to R3.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board for city staff at this time? All right, members of the public who wish to offer testimony regarding the rezoning may step forward at this time and give comments. Please state your name and address for the record prior to your comments. I will now open the public hearing.
Hi, my name is Michelle Jennings. I'm VP Development at MBL. I've been there for 13 years. I was here when the first phase was built. I grew up in the area, and I'm super excited to bring it to Oak Grove. I don't know if you know a lot about the process to get funding through the state. I'm sure you have an idea. This is the third time we put in for Oak Grove. There's about 130 applications, and they awarded about 27 last year. So Oak Grove was one of those 27. So we're super excited about it. Phase 1 has at least 80 people on the wait list. So I don't think we're going to have any trouble filling those up right away. And so we're just ready to get started and appreciate your support in all this. Oak Grove has been great, and we really thank all of your support for it. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll wait for a moment to see if there's any other public comments. If there are no more public comments, I now close the public hearing. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding and recommending approval or denial to the Board of Aldermen for the rezoning request by MBL Development Company, Kim Lingle owners, to rezone approximately 8.25 acres located generally south on 300 Southeast 27th Street.
I move for first and second reading by title only of Bill number 24-05.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Deputy City Clerk, would you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance granting a change in zoning classification on land located generally south of 300 Southeast 27th Street totaling approximately 8.25 acres from Agricultural District A to Multifamily District R3, all in accordance with the provisions of the United Development Code Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri. An ordinance granting a change in zoning classification on land located generally south of 300 Southeast 27th Street, totaling approximately 8.25 acres from Agricultural District A to Multifamily District R3, all in accordance with the provisions of the Unified Development Code, Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri.
I move for adoption of Bill number 24-05.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill number 24-05 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, Deputy City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rachel Kilmer,
Yes.
Tracy Newcomer,
Yes.
Jim Shrout,
Yes.
Kelly Nato,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor,
Yes.
Pam Pope.
Yes.
The motion is approved, and Bill number 24-05 becomes ordinance number 2104. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding a request for Lisa Bailey Rustic Heights LLC developer pursuant Section 405.090B and 405.085.E, located east of Jake's Crossing and south of 4th Street Extension for a platted unit PUD with the PUD concept multifamily. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So Rustic Heights is a multifamily development consisting of 176 individual units on 40 lots. This includes 36 fourplexes and 4 eightplexes. The development also includes a clubhouse, a pool, playground, and 42 off-street parking spaces. Rustic Heights development has undergone multiple approvals and plan adjustments going all the way back to 2019. The initial concept PUD was originally approved by Planning and Zoning of May of that year. The developer currently has a valid and approved final PUD, which was approved by Planning and Zoning in August of 2022. The developer subsequently received approval for a final plat for Phase 1 of Rustic Heights. However, that final plat was never recorded and has since expired. The final PUD, however, is still valid for that development. The developer received approval for civil infrastructure and has substantially completed all civil infrastructure, including streets, water, sewer, and the majority of stormwater. At this point, the developer is wanting to redesign a stormwater detention basin, and this would require one of the basins that is located within Tract B to be expanded. To expand the basin, the entire project development plan had to be reapproved because it expanded the scope of the initial concept PUD, even though it was ever so slight. So the new concept PUD, new final PUD, new preliminary plat, new final plat must be approved for this development. The developer has also submitted some other changes beyond the expanded stormwater basin. This includes floor plan modifications and layout. They've redesigned the clubhouse. The clubhouse is smaller than it was originally. However, they have added a large covered outdoor patio space. They've also made some changes to the exterior building materials and architectural design features, and they've reduced the project phasing from 3 phases down to 2 phases. Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the concept PUD on February 21st. They held a public hearing and recommended that the new concept, or revised concept PUD, be approved with modifications. The Planning and Zoning request for modifications including the addition of lamp posts to illuminate the off-street parking spaces as required by code, as well as for the applicant to increase the variety and use of exterior building materials. The applicant has provided the new renderings, which you have a copy of at your chair, as well as they've got some larger pictures here, as well as samples of the types of materials that will be used. So the main differences between the currently approved and valid final PUD and this new concept PUD is the redesigned clubhouse, the expanded basin for stormwater, as well as the redesigned, slightly redesigned layouts of the units. The units include a mixture of 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. Staff has reviewed those layout changes and finds that they are equal to or maybe even better than what was before. They're laid out in a way that makes just better sense and flow. The clubhouse, like I mentioned, is slightly smaller, but there is a larger outdoor covered patio space, which provides better flow between the clubhouse area and the pool deck. And they have also added the lamp posts as requested by Planning and Zoning. Jeremy Powell with Powell Engineering is here tonight, as well as other members of the development team. I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have as well. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions from the board. The next steps for this project, if approved tonight, would be that the Planning and Zoning Commission would review the final PUD. They'd also review and approve a preliminary plat and final plat, and the final plat for Phase 1 would come back to this board for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Does the board have any questions for city staff at this time?
I do. What we're looking at tonight is including the additions from planning and zoning?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so it, in your packet, the previous iteration had the use, the valid concept, the valid PUD, excuse me, has the use of stucco. They removed stucco from their new concept plan. Planning and Zoning requested the stucco be added back in, as well as do some other modifications. One of the modifications, if you look on the printout, is related to the sides and rear of the building. So at Planning and Zoning Commission, the rear was monochromatic. It was vinyl siding, horizontally laid all the way, and now they've added on the second story vertical siding that helps break up that view from the rear. Also, the sides, you can now see there's stone as well as stucco and that vertical and horizontal siding. Before it was all vertical,
Looks good.
or horizontal, I mean. So they have, I will say they have listened to the planning and zoning's feedback. They've provided a greater variety and mixture of materials. They've added back in the stucco. And they've also identified two different building codes. So there's building 1, also building 2. At first glance, they may look similar, but their color combinations are different, as well as some of the siding use. So if you look through that, you'll see they've identified the color code for the stone, the stucco, as well as the siding.
I really like the changes. I think it looks really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Matt, you mentioned 42 parking spaces. Is that in addition to the driveways?
Yeah, so one, going back to 2019, one of the concerns that was initial with this PUD, both in Plan Commission and I believe the board at the time, was off-street parking, right? So there not being enough spaces when people have visitors, and so when the parking on the driveway gets, or garage gets full, people park on the street. So the applicant has added off-street parking at various locations throughout the development, including the clubhouse, for people to, I think there's 9 at the clubhouse, so that would leave 33 throughout the development for people to use, either as they have visitors or family coming over, or however it may work. But those parking spaces will be for the HOA to maintain going forward, but they have provided those.
Like a parking lot style, or?
Yeah, they're I think they range from 7 to 9 maybe. They're throughout the development. They're on the street, but they're off to the side.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions at this time for city staff? Members of the public who wish to offer testimony regarding Rustic Heights PUD may come forward at this time. Please state your name and address for the record. I now open the public hearing.
Good evening. My name is Jeremy Powell with Powell CWM, address 3200 South State Route 291, Independence, Missouri. We did come and listen to planning and zoning's concerns and comments. I think we did a pretty good job of breaking these buildings up, making them look nice, which is the overall intent of the project. Regarding the detention basin, we had an option to do 1-to-1 steep slopes. We felt that would be dangerous. You know, it's going to rip wrap. It's going to wash out. So the client had went ahead and bought the additional land so we can make that a 3-to-1 slope to keep it a safe detention basin. We didn't want to have to fence it. Didn't want kids having to fall and hurt themselves. Overall, I think the project's going to be a good one for Oak Grove. We're hoping to break this in two phases, and they are ready to start breaking ground as soon as possible. That's all I have to add to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
I was quite proud of the planning and zoning, how they really stated things that they were probably aware that you would be interested in. And then to add to that, thank you for listening and bringing everything tonight. Board, there's also the materials over there. If you'd like to get up, you can go over and look at them at this time before we move forward, or if you want to look at any of the larger drawings. You guys want to take a moment?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Nathan's the architect, so he can answer any questions you guys have.
Nice variety.
May I have one last thing?
Absolutely. Public hearing's still open.
Regarding the clubhouse, the original clubhouse had a fitness room, and the builder, they have key cards, and then in its other developments, the fitness room just doesn't get used, he says. So he's added the 780-some square foot of patios, covered patio, which he says gets utilized quite a bit during the summer barbecues and things of that nature. So that was the only change we made on the clubhouse.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. If there are no further comments, I will now close the public hearing. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action for Bill Number 2406 regarding an ordinance approving the second amended PUD concept plan in land located generally east of Jake's Crossing subdivision between Southwest 4th Street and Southwest 6th Street, totaling approximately 17.55 acres for Rustic Heights development.
I move for first and second reading by title only of Bill Number 24-06.
A second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed Bill Number 24-06 for ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance approving the second amended PUD concept plan for land located generally east of Jake's Crossing subdivision and between Southeast 4th Street and Southeast 6th Street, totaling approximately 17.55 acres for the Rustic Heights development, all in accordance with provisions of the Unified Development Code Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri. An ordinance approving the second amended PUD concept plan for land located generally east of Jake's Crossing subdivision and between the Southeast 4th Street and Southeast 6th Street, totaling approximately 17.55 acres for the Rustic Heights development, all in accordance with the provisions of the Unified Development Code Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri.
I move for adoption of Bill Number 24-06.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill Number 24-06 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, Deputy City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rachel Kilmer,
Yes.
Tracy Newcomer,
Yes.
Jim Shrout,
Yes.
Kelly Neto,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
And Pam Poe.
Yes.
The motion is approved, and Bill Number 24-06 becomes ordinance number 2105. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding the proposed revisions for water and sewer rate charges. Corey?
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
Yes, so Olson Engineering was hired back in October 6th of 2014 to perform a water and sewer rate study and make recommendations on our fee schedule. This was a 5-year plan they put together that was from 2016 to 2020. The last sewer rate increase we had was in 2019. I don't believe we had any water or sewer rate increases in the year 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. And staff are recommending a 3.7 rate increase for both water and sewer for the year 2024 after analysis of the projected revenues and expenditures for 2024. This will increase the average sewer bill based on a 3,000-gallon average from $33.13 to $34.36. The average water bill will increase from $28.41 to $29.41 based on a 3,000-gallon average as well. A new study to include another 5-year plan is currently being in the works with Bartlett and West, and city staff were in the early stages of working on that. So hopefully we can have that to present later this year to include the next 5-year plan. You'll have a couple, in your package, you have a water and sewer comparison chart to kind of puts us in line with the increase of where we're at compared to our surrounding communities. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Thank you, Corey. Does the board have any questions for Corey or city staff?
Yeah, so those charts in our packet, those are after the increase where we rank against other cities.
That's correct.
Okay, interesting. So still middle to low on water and low on sewer.
Yeah, and you'll see on on the memo page there, we went several years without a sewer increase at all, and quite a few years without water as well. So our new 5-year plan will hopefully maybe get us back in line.
Yeah.
Corey, would this take effect immediately, or?
If approved, yes, March 28th.
Yeah, it'd be effective if approved. The ordinance would be March 28th, which would be the start of the next billing cycle.
Does the board have any other questions for city staff?
I move.
Oh, no, I got to finish the public hearing.
Okay, never mind.
That's okay. Members of the public who wish to offer testimony regarding the water and sewer rates may step forward at this time. Please state your name and address before your comments. I now open the public hearing. If there are no further comments, I now close the public hearing. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a resolution amending Resolution Number 0101 as amended and regarding the schedule for fee and charge of water and sewer service in the city of Oak Grove.
So it's not an ordinance.
No, just a motion.
I make a motion that we amend resolution number 01-01 regarding the schedule of fees and charges for water and sewer service in the city of Oak Grove.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to amend Resolution 2 regarding the water and sewer fees in the city of Oak Grove. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is information reports. Mr. Randall, do you have one?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Chris, do you have one?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to let the board know, as well as any public listening, with the services for Cody Allen, the Officer from Independence, being Friday at 11 within the city of Independence, they will be doing a procession from Independence to Odessa. That will disrupt traffic, understandably, and we will have the Broadway Bridge closed down for a period of time as it passes under, and we will have a display on top of the bridge along with Sny Valley Fire. So I would imagine somewhere around the 1 o'clock hour.
Okay.
But we'll have enough officers there to detail traffic, and it'll be a short stoppage.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate that. Corey?
No report, thank you.
Thank you. Tina?
No report, thank you.
Thank you. Scott?
No report as well, thanks.
Rachel?
No report.
Kelly?
Nope, nothing.
Jim?
No report.
No
Jeremy?
report.
Tracy?
No
Pam?
report.
I don't have a report either. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Completely.
That was a quick one. I know, best day ever.
Always know that makes you happy.
Yeah, I really don't like those.